welcome.
Yeah. Do you want to? You should be the. Actually, I was going to look down. I'm like, you haven't unlocked me yet. Uh, you should probably introduce this,
Yeah, I
even though
was
the
going to.
title exists.
You interrupted me.
Shut up.
Welcome, uh, ladies and gentlemen, to the Halfway to Concord official 2021 NFL predictions series.
Yes.
New series. This will probably be the first new series that they actually see. We have a couple other stuff we've recorded, but I think this will be the first non-podcast video
Well,
that they get to see.
arguably still a podcast, but not mainline. Yeah.
Not the main podcast.
Yeah, but
Anyway, so if you're unfamiliar with the concept of doing these weekly prediction videos, there's a lot of people that do them. Basically, we're going to be going through the 2021 NFL regular season and maybe postseason. I don't know, but we're basically just going to be predicting the matches, just straight up winners. We're not going to be playing the spreads or anything like that. We're just going to be talking straight winners. It'll be me, Adrian, as well as my good friend and co-host Drew here. And we also have a third friend and a guest who will come on probably every week, but they're missing from this week. Sil, we've mentioned them in the podcast a few times.
it's up in the air.
It's up in the air, but they'll probably be around. We'll probably put, for this video, they're not here, but we'll probably put their picks on the screen.
If we get it all taken care of, yeah.
Yeah.
It's, as we said, up in the air. But yeah.
That's the intention at least. So
yeah.
let's see how closely things go according to plan.
Everything always goes awry. I want to preface everything with the dynamic of thought here.
Sure.
What you can expect from Adrian and what you can expect from me, Drew. From Adrian, you can expect intelligent decisions and choices based off of previous seasons and knowledge of players and coaches and habits and things that teams have done in the past, plus like the draft and all that. For me, you can go off of which name sounds cool, how good they were when they faced the Lions, or if I have a family member or a friend who likes the team, I'm going to immediately say that team is going to lose. Except for a few choice, unless it's obvious. Like I'm not completely unaware. I'm aware of a lot of things, more than I even think, but expect intelligent decisions from that guy and dumb shit from me.
Yes. Now I will go ahead and after that high recommendation from my good friend there. I'm no expert. I don't know football like the back of my hand, but I am a big fan. I'd say I know more than the average person. So I'm kind of keyed into the happenings. I do watch the draft and I do watch most games, or at least watch the highlights of most games. So I will know a little bit more than my good friend Drew here, but don't expect full expert takes from me.
You at least,
I'm just guessing.
you know what they're good at.
Yes.
Okay. Since I don't want to drag this intro out any longer, let's
Sure.
talk about the Thursday night game. Is it nighttime? Usually
Thursday
it's night,
night
right? Yeah.
Football.
The game, it is Cowboys versus the Buccaneers.
Cowboys at Buccaneers.
I could say whatever the fuck I want.
I just wanted
I've just been looking at court cases for the last whatever fucking hours for class. In my brain, everything is V with a dot. Okay, I'm sorry.
I wasn't trying to correct you. I was just trying to clarify that.
Home and away,
yeah.
I get it. Let's
yeah.
focus on the team.
Sure.
The keep. Cowboys, Buccaneers. What do you think?
All right. So, to give you the brief rundown, the audience and my friend Drew, the Buccaneers, of course, are the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, led by Tom Brady in his 45th season, or so it seems.
That was last season, right?
Yes, last season. The Cowboys
I know, I'm joking.
are worse, but they do have Dak Prescott coming back. They're starting quarterback, their franchise QB, who got injured last year after about five or six games, and then had to sit out the rest of the year with a broken ankle. I'll go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off and get my pick out there. I'm although I do believe the Cowboys will be better than people expect them to be, I'm definitely going with the Buccaneers for my pick. Lock it in.
I'm gonna agree, not because it's you said so, but because the Buccaneers, as I stated, as I made a haha funny,
Hmm.
they were good last year. So
That's correct.
uh, obviously they kind of won. So I would
They re-
presume they would continue that momentum.
they retain most of their starters, I think. So
Then
should
it
be
should
just as good.
it should be solid. I
Yeah.
agree 100%.
All right. Wonderful.
First Sunday game, Seahawks and the Colts.
Yeah. So two teams in kind of very different scenarios. Russell Wilson is the quarterback of the Seahawks. Leads to a lot of really high octane passing offense. They have DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and a decent running game, but a sort of weak O line, and their defense is a bit more questionable. The Colts are kind of the exact opposite. They have a really solid defense, but their offense leaves a lot of question marks, including question marks at the quarterback position. We don't really know if Carson Wentz is going to be ready to play week one. He did have a foot injury in camp. Um, and we don't really know if he's going to be good or not. He's been good in the past. He's had some bad seasons. We don't really know what sort of Carson Wentz we're going to get. And because of that reason alone, I think it's such a close matchup, I always tend to lean on the team that I feel has a more secure quarterback position. It is the most important position in football. And for that, I'm going to choose the Seahawks as my official pick.
I'm going to once again agree with you because, as you said, you explained the kind of like opposites, like good offense, kind of lacking defense, good defense, kind of lacking offense. In my brain and how I function, I
Mm-hmm.
too tend to I kind of live and think by the philosophy of the best defense is a good offense. I don't know if that's a thing, but I like how it sounds.
Well, there's that
And
saying, and there's also the saying in football that defense wins championships. So it really is just whatever
it's
happens off
just
the field.
words, but uh, I'm gonna live. I live by the logic of just score more points,
Yep.
get more touchdowns, field goals, extra points, all that jazz. Do more of that than the other team, and you should be good. So I'm gonna say Seahawks as well.
All right.
You want to lead into the next one?
Uh, sure. I don't know where you want
Jaguars
me
and
to go on.
Texans.
Okay. Jaguars and Texans, two bottom feeders
Are
in
they
the
really?
NFC or AFC South. They're both very bad. The Jaguars held the number one overall pick last year for being the worst team in football.
Oh,
And they drafted Trevor Lawrence, one of the best quarterback prospects around. Um, the Texans are kind of just falling apart at the seams. They're being quarterbacked by Tyrod Taylor, who is a journeyman backup, because their starting QB is one, refusing to play, and two, has a couple allegations about him that
ooh.
kind of leave his career in jeopardy. In any case, I think this is the Jaguars' game all around. They have a really good running back in James Robinson, a much better defense in my opinion. The Texans, as of a couple hours ago, as of when we're recording this, just got rid of Bradley Roby, who is I think they're like their starting corner. So their defense is going to be dog. I think James Robinson is going to run all over them, and their offense won't be able to score any points. Uh, I don't really have faith in Tyrod Taylor to lead the Texans to any sort of run this year. My pick is the Jaguars.
Um, I'm gonna agree with you on the Jaguars, and that this is purely coincidence that for the last next three, I'm not bandwagoning off of you. I'm
Yeah,
literally
no
picking this one. I I get my football knowledge through things like important that are happening. Like usually it's this important player is switching teams, this event is happening, or this team is moving locations, etc. I have
Mhm.
probably in the last however many years have heard nothing about the Texans. I forgot they existed as a team.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Jaguars solely because for some reason I know the Jaguars exist.
Mhm.
I don't know why I do, but I do. So I'm gonna pick
Sure.
Jaguars because my logic is if I know about you, there's probably a reason for it. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe that'll work.
Yeah.
Uh, my logic is flawless.
Hey,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, whatever works.
Okay. Battle of the Birds. Eagles at the Falcons. Is it at? Is
Eagles at Falcons.
first is always at the next one because that's how I
Correct.
topped it. Okay. Eagles at the
Yeah.
Falcons. Yeah.
Um, this is a tough one. Uh, I think these are both teams that have struggled a lot recently, and I think they're going to continue to struggle a little bit. The Eagles are kind of going with Jalen Hurts as the QB for now, and there's a lot of question marks about whether he can be the guy to really lead them or whether they're going to have to start looking for someone else. There were rumors that they were going to try to trade for Deshaun Watson, who's the current Texans QB that's sitting on the bench, refusing to play. They did get a new head coach, so they're going to be installing probably all new systems. They have a decent defense. They have a couple key players, Fletcher Cox, Darius Slay, a couple star players, but I don't know if they've put it all together. The Falcons are in a similar situation. They have a couple really good players, Grady Jarrett, Dante Fowler's pretty good, a couple young guys like Isaiah Oliver and AJ Terrell in the secondary, and they're being led by Matt Ryan, and they just recently drafted Kyle Pitts. They also have Calvin Ridley at wide receiver. And I'm kind of going back to my Seahawks Colts thing, where in a 50-50 matchup, I'm going to probably just put my guess in the hands of who I trust more when it comes to the quarterbacking position. And that's definitely Matt Ryan over Jalen Hurts. I'm going to choose the Falcons, my pick for this one.
So for me, since you expressed that it was, I know nothing about. I can't even give my own opinion on this one. I have no fucking clue. So just to be a contrarian, I'm going to go Eagles.
Sure. Right.
And you said it was at least somewhat 50-50.
Yeah, I think it'll be close.
So I'll just go just to be a contrarian. Eagles. And I think an eagle could beat a falcon in a fight. So there we go.
Did you know that the falcon is the fastest animal on the planet?
Did you know eagles are cooler? There we go.
They aren't.
They are. I think they look cooler personally, but that's a
The
personal
falcon
opinion.
is actually my favorite animal.
No, well, the eagle is cooler, but my favorite animal is a penguin. So my favorite animal can't win any of fights. Okay, next game: Chargers at Washington Football Team.
Yeah, this is another one that's going to be probably pretty close. Washington has a hell of a defense. People are saying it might be a potential, top defense. I'm not sure if I would go that far yet, mostly because I have a few questions about the secondary. Their front seven is absolutely one of the best in the league, without a doubt, and they have Chase Young, who's an absolute stud at their edge rusher. But their offense is still a bit more questionable. They do have Terry McLaurin, who's a speed demon and just a really good wide receiver in general. I think Antonio Gibson is a very underrated running back for them. But at QB right now, they have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's a journeyman who's been on 8,000 teams and don't really know if he's going to be the thing that pushes them over the edge. The Chargers also have a pretty good defense. They have Joey Bosa at edge rusher, who I think is more proven than Chase Young. So if you're doing a one-on-one matchup against them, who has the better edge rusher? I think Chase Young's great, but I would give the edge to Joey Bosa right now, just because we know what he's capable of, and we still have a lot of uncertainties with Chase Young. The secondary, they're getting Derwin James back, who was injured last year, so that'll be a boost to their defense. And on offense, there is the uncertainty of Austin Eckler, who might not be able to play in that game, but they have Keenan Allen and Mike Williams at wide receiver, who I think are both really, really good. And they have Justin Herbert, who is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league to watch, an absolute stud, just has a cannon for an arm. I think the Chargers are going to win, and I think it's going to be a little bit more comfortable than people might think. Chargers are my pick.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you because I have heard things about Washington. I heard that they're apparently looking to do decent, and I do know that they had, I believe, was it last year that they did good, somewhat good. I don't think they
made the playoffs.
But, I've heard I've heard word of mouth and things about Washington, mainly for their name change and all that, but also for performance. So I'm gonna have to pick Washington, mainly just because it happened to reach my ears that they might be good. So Washington is my pick.
Little quick sidebar here. I think it's going
Yeah.
to be interesting to watch as the season progresses. To watch your football brain expand.
That
As
could
you
be
pull
interesting. Yeah.
pull in some more information.
Maybe I'll be more motivated to watch some more games.
Yeah, you got predictions on the line.
Yeah, I'm gonna have this paper in
Ooh.
front of me, checking it off because I'm gonna get them all right. Because Galaxy Brain.
So fun fact:
Uh,
me and Still are actually betting money on who can be the better predictor this season. Between me and you and them, and this is mostly just for fun and for bragging rights in the final
Yeah.
episode. But yeah. Anyway, next game.
Yeah. The next game is Steelers at Bills.
Steelers at Bills. A potential battle of the Titans and a potential one-sided beatdown. Steelers started off super hot last season. They started off 11-0, were the last undefeated team left in the league, and then they absolutely fell apart. I think they won 3 of their last 5, and then were one and done in the playoffs in an embarrassing match against the Browns. The Bills were kind of good all the way through. They made it all the way to the AFC Championship, and I think this is definitely going to be a battle of defenses. Obviously, Steelers' defense is always solid. It's the one big thing about that culture as a team that they always pride themselves on is their defense, and it's going to be good. It's always good. Their secondary is a bit more interesting. Their front seven is excellent, one of the best in the league for sure. The Bills have a really good defense as well in Trey White and Micah Hyde and a couple good linebackers. So their secondary and their pass defense should be really good. Ben Roethlisberger is a question mark. I personally don't think he still has it. I think he's going to continue to regress as the years go on. I think there might even be the chance that he gets benched this year in exchange for one of their backups. Whereas over on the other side, Josh Allen could be headed for an MVP type season. He's put up 2 really great seasons back to back these past 2 years, and could be looking to get another big season under his belt this year. I feel very, very confidently the Bills are going to take this one comfortably.
I'm gonna disagree with you mainly because the Steelers, it's another one of those for me, a Jaguars and Texans thing where I know the Steelers exist. I forgot the Bills exist. And it's not because it's when I say that, it's not because no one's talking about them. It's because in my circle of media that I ingest, that team, the Bills, has never penetrated that. I have no clue about the Bills. No, it was Steelers, right? Yeah. Steelers. Their logo is cool. Yeah, I've heard of them. And I mean, I think, as you said, they were performing decent last year, right?
Yeah, they started out real hot, kind of dropped off towards the end, but they started out real hot last year.
Yeah, I'll be confident. I'm gonna say Steelers. I'll go for it there. Next game, 49ers at the Lions. Hey!
One of us has a vested interest in this match. Yeah, I don't think there's much to talk about. I won't sit here and rag the Lions too much.
I'll do it for you.
Okay, I'll let you have that, but I'll just say right now, Niners have a really good defense, and I really like Trey Lance. He's probably not going to be the one to play. I think their coach has already said that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the one to be starting as the quarterback this season. But I like the 49ers to do some things this season and probably make it back to playoffs. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Niners here.
I am okay. There's 2 ways I could do this, right?
Yep.
One way I could go, I want to be accurate, I'd pick the 49ers. But my heart says pick the Lions because I'm not bandwagoning, nothing. You can't say I am because they're sucky and they always have been sucky.
Yep.
I have the fucking tapestry. I got the hat, right? The Lions aren't going to be good. They're going to be trash. They got rid of Stafford, which was essentially carrying their entire team. And they can't catch the ball. They can't run. They can't do anything good. Everything they do is bad. So it's going to be watching a really shitty high school team get the shit kicked out of a competent NFL team.
Mm-hmm.
But just because they're my team,
Sure,
I'm going to
absolutely.
say Lions. But I won't be surprised when I'm wrong on that one.
Hey, we gotta back
But
the boys. Like
I always hope. Every game I hope. I always look. I don't watch anymore. I literally just look at the scores
you gotta
because
watch some games this season.
I'll try. I'll try. But
All right.
you heard my reasoning.
Yeah.
Next game, Vikings at Bengals.
All right. Now, this is one where I have to preface with a addressing the obvious. I'm a Packers fan. Uh, so if you want, if any Vikings fans come in the comment
The
section.
chat, yeah.
Sorry. Uh, if any Vikings fans want to come into the comment section and say that I'm a homer, that I'm biased, or whatever, so be it. I'm taking a surprise pick. I'm taking the upset. I'm going to say that the Bengals win, and here's why. The Vikings are they're an interesting team, and I don't think they really know what they want to do. I think having Kirk Cousins as your starting quarterback is a fate I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Because he's just good enough that you don't really want to get rid of him right away, but he's not good enough to take you anywhere. Dalvin Cook is amazing, absolutely. Justin Jefferson is a stud. Adam Thielen is great. They have weapons. They don't have a guy to really get the ball out there and get the ball into the hands of those weapons. And their defense is questionable. It's been good in the past. They've lost a couple key players. I don't know if it'll be able to hold out much going forward. I think that is a team that is definitely going to have to hit the reset button before too long. The Bengals, I don't think are an inherently better team. They do have Joe Burrow, who I like a lot. I think he has a lot of potential to be a really, really great QB. They still have Tyler Boyd. Last I checked, they have T. Higgins. They have Jamar Chase now, their first round pick, who hasn't been looking too good in camp, but I think he just needs some time to knock the rust off. I don't know if that'll happen in this game, and he'll be back to his winning ways, or if he'll still struggle any further. But they also have Joe Mixon, who's a really, really good running back, and their defense is underrated. Their front seven is bad, and I think Dalvin Cook will have a field day and being able to run on them. But their secondary is good. They have Von Bell and Jesse Bates, some really good DBs that I think will cause Kirk Cousins some problems. I think this will be a very, very close game. I think Kirk Cousins might throw an interception or two, and I think that might cost them the win. I have the Bengals winning a very close one.
I'm going to agree with your decision on the Bengals because my grandparents and a lot of my cousin and family members are Vikings fans, big Vikings fans. And from what I've seen and the preseason game I watched recently, which is a bad judge because it's preseason,
Sure.
but it's a bit of a baseline for me. They can't run the ball at all. It doesn't ever get anywhere. I don't know why. I'm assuming it doesn't work. Um, and I do know from what I saw, they just they'll frequently choke on things they need to get done good. Like, oh, this play is important. They'll fuck it up. I think there was like an interception or something that they did. Like, it's like, dude, it's like you got to get this play. You got to do it right. You need the first down, and they can't. So I'm gonna say they're gonna choke. I think it's gonna be even, and then they're gonna choke and fuck up, and then the landslide will begin, and I think that will be the Bengals. So,
all right,
picking that. Next game, Jets at Panthers.
Jets at Panthers, I think will be a lot closer than people expect. I have a lot of people picking the Panthers in this, and I'll say right out the bat, I am also picking the Panthers on this. I will lock in that pick. But I will say, I really do like Zach Wilson. I think he's a very intelligent QB. I think he will be a very, very good quarterback in time. And I think he does have a really good weapon in Corey Davis. I think their running back position is a bit more interesting. Last year, their starting running back was Frank Gore, who's like 40 years old. Um, they do have a couple younger guys in now, but I don't know if they'll be good enough to really establish a solid run game. Their O line is going to be great. Zach Wilson will have time to show off how good of a quarterback he can be, but their defense is awful, and it will continue to be awful because of all the injuries that they've received. I think like 3 of their starting D linemen have gotten injured in preseason.
Why?
So it's just misery for Jets fans. I think they're going to continue to suck for a while. I think they have a very bright future in Zach Wilson and the young offensive linemen and the young guys they have in there. I think they're gonna lose a couple more games though, and I think the Panthers are going to capitalize on getting Christian McCaffrey back. I have the Panthers winning this one.
I'm gonna. I would. Okay, so I would say Jets because I know a couple people who like the Jets.
Mhm.
But the Jets have never, as far as I'm aware, been like a big shining star, right?
They won Super Bowl 4 and haven't done anything since. Or was it 4?
Well,
It might have been 3.
well, they they got to run it back.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I just know them as like being a bad team, and it
Yeah.
seems that it hasn't changed. I kind of want to pick Jets just underdog.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pick Jets just because I like to root for the underdog,
Sure.
and it'd be cool to see them beat the Panthers.
Sure. Yeah.
It'd be cool. Next game.
Also,
Oh,
that just speaking on that real quick, I, just because I don't pick a team doesn't necessarily mean I think that team is bad or that I don't like that team. It's just that I think they're going to lose that matchup. I could be absolutely wrong. Who knows? I'm just guessing here. But
well,
don't
yeah, yeah.
if I pick against your favorite team, I'm just I'm just I'm just saying words.
Yeah, it's opinion based, really. No one can predict the future.
Yeah.
Trash team could beat the best team, just out of the blue someday. You never really
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There's odds though.
Oh yeah.
But next game is Cardinals at the Titans.
Cardinals at the Titans. I think this will be a very good game. It's going to be one that I probably will watch a little bit of at least. And geez, it is a tough one to predict. Yeah, I mean, I think they both have defenses that are good at some areas and not so good at others. So I don't really know there, but Cardinals have Kyler Murray and Nuke Hopkins, who's one of the best wide receivers in the league. I think he's the second best wide receiver in the league. Very, very good. I think he will show up and show off a little bit. But Titans have Derrick Henry,
Hmm.
who's the best running back in the league by far. He just had 2,000 rushing yards last season. Ryan Tannehill is a very good, very serviceable quarterback. Doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. He might not be the guy you really want to put in there to, uh, clutch it out or really, he might not be one of the true top guys, but he's solid and he doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes. Derrick Henry's going to run all over the Cardinals defense, in my opinion. I don't think J.J. Watt's going to be a big enough difference um, to this team, and I just I have the Titans winning this one mostly just on the back of Derrick Henry.
Uh, See, I'm gonna actually go for the Cardinals, cause I don't know. I like the Cardinals. I don't know. I
Hey,
just
sometimes that's all you need.
I don't know. I like the Cardinals.
You just-
I'm picking the Cardinals. The Titans. I think they're lame. I don't know. I'm not into the Titans. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna pick Cardinals. Next game, barbecue blowout. Browns at the Chiefs.
Browns, the Chiefs. It was news to you that the Browns are good. I told you that right before we started recording, and you were kind of shocked because, as we've established, you don't always pay super close attention to the football
Yeah,
season. But you've known what everyone has known, and that the Browns have been garbage for basically their entire existence.
most of
But
it. Yeah.
they're actually good now. They got
Well,
made it to the playoffs and won a playoffs game against the Steelers last year. So they're a good team. I think Baker Mayfield is better than people give him credit for. I think he has really good receivers, receiving options, and just weapons in general in the form of Odell Beckham Jr., Landry, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, Austin Hooper, and their defense is it's really really good. They have Denzel Ward, Miles Garrett, who's arguably the best edge rusher in the league, but the Chiefs have just as good of a roster. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill. They did lose Sammy Watkins, but they have Travis Kelce. I think Clyde will continue to get better. I think he will need a little bit of time to develop. He started off a little hot last season and then kind of faded off a little bit, but I think he'll get back to his winning ways. And the Chiefs defense, Tyrann Mathieu, who's that other safety they got? Oh, I already forgot.
Bob.
Yeah, good D-line, good secondary, just good defense all around. And they're making moves to improve that O-line, which was the entire reason they lost the Super Bowl, was just poor O-line play and not giving Mahomes any time whatsoever in the pocket. As much as I would love to root against the Chiefs, just because so much of my family are Chiefs fans and it's funny to root against them, I will pick the Chiefs to win this game.
I'm going to agree with you and pick the Chiefs. I'm not picking them because, like, even, like, I feel like it's really hard to break the mold of, like, what you've been doing for the past, however many years football has existed. But the Browns all of a sudden becoming, like, competent seems like a bit of a pipe dream. So I'm going to stick with, no, I don't think so. I think no. If it does, I'm willing to admit me being wrong because, as I said, I'm not, like, knowledgeable, right?
Browns fans are gonna time code this and prepare to.
Browns fans can slob my knob because I don't care about Browns fans, right? Browns fans, where? Who? But, like, I'm picking Chiefs mainly because, like, especially it's like a casual, like, I'm a casual to football, right? I'm casual, right?
Yeah.
Even to casual ears, no one will shut the fuck up about Mahomes. You would think he's the best thing since sliced fucking bread. So I gotta say he's gonna be good. Like, everyone yells he's good, right? To me, that's what I hear all the fucking time. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go with the crowd. Also, because they won a recent Super Bowl, relatively recent. So,
absolutely.
And they're still riding. I know they've been doing good last year, obviously year before. So it's like, Chiefs. Chiefs for sure.
Yeah, no matter how good the Browns are getting, the Chiefs are still a top 3 team without a doubt.
They're riding that wave still, I think.
Yeah.
Next game, Dolphins at the Patriots.
This is probably the coin flippiest game on the entire week.
Really?
I've seen a lot of Dolphins backers. I've seen a lot of Patriots backers. One of the YouTubers that I watch occasionally, Tom Grossi, has a Pick'ems league, which is basically just this, but a lot of people, and they don't make a show out of it. And on his Pick'ems league, it is a perfect 50-50 split between the Patriots and the Dolphins. And it was the last game I picked when I was going through my predictions the first time, because I don't know. The Patriots are led by the best head coach in football history, the winningest head coach in football history. Their defense is potentially back to form. They're getting a lot of starters who opted out last year coming back. They just spent a lot of money in free agency to improve certain areas. They still have Stephon Gilmore, who's one of the best corners in football. Dante Hightower's coming back, and he was a big playmaker for them on the defense. Their O-line is good. It's always good. It's something Bill Belichick does very well at maintaining. The question mark there, I think there's a couple question marks, though, on offense, and that's, is Mac Jones good enough to start week 1? He is going to be the starter. They just released Cam Newton, but is he good enough to go out there and get a big win? I question the game. Sony Michel, I think, is going to be their their number one running back, and I'm not sure if he's really a true top dog in the league at that position. And what wide receivers do they have? Like, yeah, they have Jonnu Smith, and I think they got Hunter Henry, great tight ends. But as far as true wide receivers, they don't really have anyone worth mentioning. Over on the Dolphins, there's a ton of question marks. Tua still needs to grow and develop. I don't think he's quite there yet. And obviously the Dolphins are out coached in this. Bill Belichick is obviously one of the best coaches of all time. I just said he was the best coach of all time. Brian Flores for the Dolphins is not Bill Belichick's level, um, at least not right now. I mean, hey, if he wants to start his own dynasty, that'd be great, but not right now. But I think their O line is still good. I think their defense is still good, and I think offensively, I trust Tua throwing to like Jalen Waddle, and I think Devonta Parker is still in Miami. I'm not 100% sure on that. They did go get Will Fuller, who I think is still really good. They have actual receivers. Mike Gesicki is a solid tight end. I trust the offense a little bit more. I think both defenses are good. I trust the Dolphins' offense a bit more, so I'm going with the Dolphins.
I'm going to take Patriots.
Okay.
Because the Patriots are the, like, bandwagon team, right? Like, if you don't understand what football is and someone says pick a team, you go, Patriots. Because
Yeah.
who doesn't want to be a Patriot? and
And they also won
and
6 Super Bowls
and they're
in the last 2
really
decades.
they are really good. So I'm just gonna stick with that. Like, I'm assuming they're gonna continue the trend. I'm just gonna go off that data. So I'm gonna go Patriots.
All right.
Next game, Broncos at the Giants.
Mhm. Another toss-up game. Um. Okay, so just briefly, Broncos defense great, offense not so great. Giants could be good on both sides of the ball, could be bad on both sides of the ball. We don't really know, but I do think the Giants defense are going to be really good. I think their secondary, they've done a lot of things to improve and continue to improve that secondary. I think they're going to continue to get better. And on the offensive side of the ball, even though their O-line play is garbage, they have Saquon coming back, and I think Saquon's going to have a big game as his big return game. I don't trust Teddy Bridgewater. I definitely don't trust Drew Lock. I don't think the Broncos have what it takes to put it all together on offense. I think the Giants will win a close one.
I'm gonna go Broncos mainly because I feel like there's more in your description. At least there seems to be more, like, it's less up in the air. Like, you know how they perform.
Mm-hmm.
There's more data on it. So I'm gonna go for probably just, yeah. It's more predictable. So I'm gonna go
Mm-hmm.
Broncos.
All right.
Next game, Packers at Saints.
Packers at Saints. Obviously, Packers fan. We already established that. Uh, but even more so than just fandom and me liking the Packers, Packers have Aaron Rodgers back. They have pretty much all of their starters are coming back. I think the only ones that they lost are Corey Linsley at center, and David Bakhtiari is going to be out at left tackle. So their O line might be a little worse, but I still trust the guys we have in there at O line. I think their defense is going to be good. And I think Aaron Rodgers, coming off of his MVP season, is going to continue to be really good. Saints just lost Drew Brees to retirement, um, and Michael Thomas isn't even playing, so I really don't trust their offense to do much of anything. They're going to have to rely pretty heavily on Alvin Kamara, who is great, but not great enough. I think the Packers win it comfortably.
I'm gonna agree with you on the Packers. I just know Aaron Rodgers is really freaking good.
Yeah.
And I know that they've been doing good the previous seasons, so I'm just gonna say I'm assuming they're gonna keep being good. So I'm gonna pick the Packers. Next game, Bears at Rams.
The Sunday night primetime game, Bears at Rams. This will be an interesting one.
It will be.
I think it'll be a one-sided one, but I think it'll be interesting to see how how the teams develop and how the decisions they make. Obviously, with the Bears, they drafted Justin Fields, so they have the potential quarterback of the future. Right now, it looks like Andy Dalton's actually going to be the starter, though, and I don't think that's going to be very good for them in terms of getting wins now. Uh, Obviously, Justin Fields is going to need some time to develop, but I think Andy Dalton is just not going to be the guy it takes to beat the Rams and their overwhelming defense. They have two absolute stars on the defense in Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and they have Matt Stafford, former Lions legend Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Is now quarterbacking that team. Uh, and I think I think he's going to play well. I think he's going to be excited to be out of Detroit. No offense.
None take.
But I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play hard football, and I think he's going to really show off a little bit, just to kind of try to. He has a little more fire in him, I think, than the Bears will. Bears defense is good, but their offense is abysmal, and they didn't really do enough moves this offseason to really improve their offense any, other than Justin Fields, who I think will be an improvement. But like I said, one, he's going to need time to develop, and two, I don't think he's going to be playing in this Rams game anyway. So I have the Rams winning a comfortable one.
I'm going to agree with you on the Rams, mainly because I want to see the Rams do good. I really just want to see Stafford do good because I feel like Stafford is really good. From what I got, he's able to like work with because he was on the Lions forever, and he was like the only reason they got anywhere because they relied on him so much, and I knew they were paying him a fuck ton. So I really just want to see him do good. I want to see what he can do. I want to see if he's actually good, or if he was like good compared to the rest of the Lions.
Yeah.
I really just want to see if like given tools he can work with, if he's able to actually perform and help that team to victory and actually be an integral part of it. So I'm going to pick the Rams just because I really want him to win because I want Stafford to get some dubs.
Oh yeah, got to back your boy.
Yeah, I honest like I'm rooting for three teams this season: Lions, Chiefs, and Rams. But last game, Monday night, Ravens
Monday night football.
at the Raiders.
Ravens at the Raiders in Allegiant Stadium, the new Vegas football stadium that they just built. I mean, it's going to be the Ravens, right? Like, the Ravens, Lamar Jackson is one of the best quarterbacks in football. I don't care how many people want to be like, oh, he's a running back. Ha, 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 ha. No, he's very, very good. He's a very efficient passer. We've already proven that. He had an MVP season literally like 2 years ago. He's proven that he can get it done with his arm. He's obviously proven he can get it done with his legs. Their O-line is good. Their defense is good. They just drafted, I think it was Rashad Bateman. It was either Rashad Bateman or Rondale Moore, and I think it was Bateman. But point is, they're trying to get him more weapons, and the Raiders are just, I mean, what are the Raiders anyway? Like, they're not exceptionally great at defense. They're not exceptionally great at offense. Their O-line is spare parts now because so many people left. Derek Carr is not a top-tier QB, despite Raiders fans wanting us to believe he is. Josh Jacobs is great. I absolutely am on the Josh Jacobs, not really bandwagon. I think Josh Jacobs is great. I think he'll be the shining star of this matchup and every Raiders matchup until John Gruden and Derek Carr pack their bags and get out. I don't see the Raiders going anywhere until those two people are gone. Ravens are going to win a comfortable one.
I'm going to agree with you. One thing I did know is that the Raiders are the Raiders. So I'm going to go Ravens just because. Come on. Well, that wraps up week one. Any last statements about what you think's gonna any like big overarching football concepts that week or this week? I guess you think you should wrap up.
I think regarding to football, I just think this week's going to be really interesting, and I personally, regardless of how this week goes, how seasons go, how predictions go, I'm just glad football's back. I'm a huge football fan, as I've talked about it so much on the podcast. If you're here because you're searching up football predictions and you come to this before you come to the podcast, go check out the podcast. And if you made it this far in the video, I love you. And I mean, subscribe. You made it this far anyway, right? Future
Yeah.
episodes probably quite this long, but we had a lot of stuff to get through here in this episode. So I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys are interested in seeing our predictions week to week, and hopefully you guys are interested in seeing how Drew develops as a football fan.
As a watcher of the sport.
Maybe we'll get him to actually watch a game this season. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
All right.
Have a good night.